I was a kid, I could never stop moving. I played every single sport you could think of, especially soccer. In middle school, I was the only female on my team, and at the end of every practice, our coach would gather us around and say, "All right, guys and girl, you're going to sprint full on across the whole field, and if anybody can run faster than Charis, you can be the first to get water." I always was first. Nobody could beat me. Thank you. And I went on to play for Meredith College in Raleigh, North Carolina. For a little while, I toyed with the idea of playing professionally, eventually gave that up and moved out here to California. And shortly after my move, a friend said, "Hey, there's a charity fashion show coming up, and why don't you be a model for it?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" Well, the funny thing about this is that growing up, I would have people approach me and say, "You are so beautiful, you're tall, you have great posture, you should be a model." "Yeah, thanks, but I like food." I like to eat. But as it turns out, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the self-confidence feel that modeling gave me, similar to how I felt on the soccer field. And I also felt that I had a platform to share my story. And I think I'm a pretty good model, don't you? Thank you. But I'm not here to talk about that tonight. I'm not here to talk about what you see. I'm here to talk about everything you don't see. So shortly after I began modeling, I was diagnosed with Ankylosing Spondylitis. And I am curious to know if any of you have heard of that. Raise your hands if you have. So I'm pretty sure that the 3 or 4 people who are raising their hands are all my friends. Thanks, friends. AS is not even a rare disease. There are more people with AS than Lou Gehrig's disease and multiple sclerosis combined. AS is also one of over 100 forms of arthritis. Did you even know that? There are over 100 forms of arthritis. AS is characterized by widespread, rampant inflammation throughout your whole body. It's extremely painful. And because of the energy it takes for your body to fight that inflammation 24/7, there's also fatigue. These are my main symptoms that I deal with day by day. But it is a progressive disease, and in severe cases where there's not good treatment, my spine could fuse into one long bone and make me look a bit like a question mark. This is my father. He's the one who died 2 weeks ago from complications after having surgery to try to straighten his back. And I hope that never happens to me, and that's why I'm speaking out about this. I bet there are several of you wondering if there's any way you could possibly relate to what I go through with my disease. And as it happens, there is. Think about having the flu. What if you had the flu every single day for the rest of your life, and yet people still expected you to go to work, pay your bills, maybe raise a family, have a social life, and all that on top of trying to manage this permanent health condition that will never, ever go away, and it will always get worse. So I'd like to talk about some responses that I get when I tell people I have AS. One of the biggest responses I get when I say I'm sick is, "No, you're not. You look too good. You're too young to be sick." That's how I feel when people tell me that. It leaves me kind of scratching my head like, I just told you something really important about me and you're telling me that it's wrong? That I'm lying? I like to just give you something rather than say you're not sick. Perhaps show some curiosity. Charis, what in the world is this Ankylosing Spondylitis, whatever you said it was? What's it like to live with that? And to take it one step further, super bonus points if you then ask for resources to help raise awareness with me. to find better research that will promote better treatments and maybe even a cure one day. And these things that I'm talking about, they're related to anybody with a chronic disease, really. This isn't just ankylosing spondylitis. Now, one of the other things I hear when I tell people I'm sick is medical advice. Charis, have you tried marijuana? What about yoga? My uncle's cousins, sister-in-law's daughters, keep going. She did yoga, and she was cured almost overnight from cancer. And isn't cancer a bit like AS? Without even knowing it, right? So I know that none of you out here, unless you're a doctor, would give me medical advice, right? Right? Because I have a whole team of doctors working with me to treat my disease. And chances are anything you could think of to suggest for me to try, I may have already tried it. Instead of giving me medical advice, perhaps try some practical, tangible support. And that could be on the days that my hands are just so swollen I can't move them, or I'm just in so much pain I can't even get out of bed, to chop some vegetables for me to eat, or wash my dishes that are in the sink and have been there for a week. These are tangible ways to help me so that I have a window of opportunity to take care of the medical side of things. Now, the last thing I want to share is that living with a chronic disease is incredibly isolating and lonely. And I feel fortunate to have friends who continue to invite me into their lives. And that is as simple as inviting me over for dinner or to their birthday parties or whatnot. That simple invitation, rather than writing me off from the start, gives me the autonomy to make the decision for myself whether I feel that I'm able to participate. This is huge. It reminds me that I'm worthy and that I have a community of friends supporting me. Invisible diseases are invisible because you cannot see them. But they're also invisible because sometimes we choose not to. When all it takes is a little curiosity and listening, perhaps some tangible support, washing some dishes, but definitely reminding us that we have community by inviting us into your lives. Thank you.